Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Michaela and this is Michaela's Crafts. And today I wanted to do a little crochet and chat video with you guys because it has been a long time since I've made one. It's been a long time since I've even been in front of the camera, even though I am working on things behind the scenes. The first thing being my vintage sweater, which I finally just got a little bit more yarn that I needed so that I could continue working on that. So hopefully I'll have that done by our little trip out west in the fall. And then secondly, I'm working on something that is a little bit of a surprise, but a lot of people asked for it and I'm willing to spoil the surprise. Like, I'm not keeping secrets from anybody. And it's another granny square blanket. So a lot of people asked me how to make the one that I made for my grandma, and so I just decided to make a whole nother one and do the whole tutorial for it. It is moving a little bit slower than I would like, but that's just because the ends, I'm like actually taking the time to weave the ends as I go, and it is actually a lot of end weaving. So, and I'm thinking, let me know if you guys like this idea or how you would prefer the tutorial come out. I was thinking of making it kind of like a crochet along. I actually am not super familiar with crochet alongs, but I get the concept and I like the idea of releasing this releasing this tutorial in parts so that you have enough time to catch up, but instead of it being super overwhelming. So it would be like I show you guys how to do like the first granny squares, put them all together, then how many rows to do of this, and then, you know, you would tuck all the ends, do your blocking, and then a week later, the next part of the video will come out so that you guys aren't like overwhelmed watching an entire video of how I make a blanket. So that's my idea. But let me know if you guys, would prefer to have it all in one video, because I will absolutely do that if that's what you guys prefer. But so far that's what I'm thinking, just to keep the videos short, sweet, and that way, like, people can do their granny squares, like do a week's worth of crocheting on the blanket and then come back and do the next part. I just think it would be much more digestible that way. So, and today I didn't even mention, I'm working on my July temperature blanket square. So if you watched my first crochet and chat video, then you already know what I'm working on. It is just my temperature blanket, and even though it's like August 10th, I'm still pretty on track with my temperature blanket. Like, it's so this is month 7, and I have all of my squares done so far. So that is good news. I don't really have much else planned to talk about in this video. So I hope it's not like too chaotic, too sporadic, but I could probably talk to anyone about anything forever. So what I do want to ask you guys, like, first of all, how are you guys, and how are you guys feeling about fall coming? I know everyone's ready. I just know in my soul that everyone is ready for fall, and I think for me, fall being overhyped really ruined fall for me. Throughout most of my life. Like, I never understood the hype around fall. I was like, it's rainy and people get to wear boots and sweaters, it's cold, it's not for me. But this summer really made me want fall. Like, I used to be a layout by the pool girly, and now I'm like, I kind of really got into grandma hobbies this year, cozy grandma hobbies, and that's probably why I'm just craving fall. I'm just like, no, why would I want to be outside when I could be inside knitting a sweater or crocheting a blanket, stuff like that. So, but I know that everyone else is ready for fall and everybody loves fall. I think the things that I like about fall are different from what everyone else likes about fall. I don't love pumpkin. I actually hate pumpkin as a flavor. I've really tried to condition myself to like pumpkin, but it's very unsuccessful. I also just love to spend more time with my boyfriend. He has been working this summer nonstop in this heat. And I'm just so excited for him to be at home more, and he also like hates the heat. I'm pretty sure he brainwashed me into hating summer partially. And so he's gonna be spending more time at home, wanting to go outside more. And I love being outside, even though I feel like this summer I was not outside. I was just inside and just, I don't know, just not wanting to be a part of the heat at all. Even though we are very fortunate to have a pool at our apartment complex, I just didn't really want to be there. So yeah, so I'm ready for fall, and along with my other videos coming with my sweater and my blanket, I do want to talk about things I'm excited to knit this fall, or all the things I would knit if I had time. There's so many cute things that I found on Ravelry. Like, I went on to a Ravelry deep dive, and I was looking up like scarves I wanted to make, socks, sweaters especially. I found a couple sweaters that I'm absolutely obsessed with and I have to make. But I also made a promise to my boyfriend that I wouldn't buy more yarn until I finished some projects. And honestly, I'm really excited for 2025 reset. And I know I don't need to wait till the end of the year to do a reset, or the beginning of the year to do a reset, but I really just want to finish a lot of projects. I think that's like my biggest goal, and it was one of the reasons I started this channel, and I started it by like finishing my whips, which was my grandma's granny square blanket, and then also this temperature blanket. I have a couple other blankets and things, and I just want to get rid of my yarn stash. I am a beginner still, crocheter and knitter, and I think during that phase when you're beginning, you buy a lot of acrylic yarn, you buy a lot of yarn without knowing what you're gonna do with it. You buy a lot of yarn because it looks cool, but I have really evolved already as a fiber artist, and therefore like I don't just want to have a bunch of acrylic yarn that I don't enjoy working with in my yarn stash. So probably even today I'm gonna go through my yarn stash, declutter. I have a lot of, I don't know, like bulky yarn that people use to make plushies. I don't make plushies, and I like the soft velvet yarn, and I was trying to do a blanket with it, but it's just not something I'm passionate about, and I haven't really been enjoying it. So I'm probably going to do a big yarn declutter and probably donation to somewhere. I wonder if even, I was gonna say to like a local yarn shop that they could use like for kids classes, but I know that they make money off the kids buying the materials. I would love to find a place to donate like all of my yarn for kids who don't have like the money to do the materials, like that want to learn how to crochet, but I just don't know if there's like a demand for that anywhere, if there's like a place. If you guys have any ideas of like what I should do with some old yarn, just like leave it in the comments, because I'm not just gonna throw it away, and I just feel like donating it to Goodwill would be, or like a local thrift shop that's not Goodwill or Salvation Army, would be a good way to kind of get rid of my yarn. But I just feel like there might be a more useful way. Maybe I'll ask Miss Karen at my local yarn shop. I think she might have an idea. Well, I'm gonna ask around first, point is, before I just go tossing my yarn in a donation bin. So yeah, and you know, with the fall patterns, there's literally, I have so many things I want to make, and I also have even my winter knitting plans already started, because I found some super cute kind of like color work sweaters that I think need to be made in the winter. I'm just so excited to be cozy, y'all. And I put on this super cute grandpa sweater that I thrifted. Believe it or not, this is Eddie Bauer, and I thought it like was a super cute knit for this video, but I'm also wearing pajama pants. So if I look more put together than I am, that's story of my life actually. So yeah, Um, since I haven't made a video in a little while, I am still watching Grey's. I am on season 16 of Grey's Anatomy, and for the longest time, I thought that I hadn't watched that much past Derek's death. I'm sorry for if you don't know that Derek died in Grey's Anatomy by now, like you're not really a true fan, or or like you just haven't been exposed to the internet, because I'm sorry if you didn't know that Derek died by now. Like, I don't know how you live under a rock. Like, even people who have never watched the show, I'm sure, just know about it. So I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you, but it happens, and you don't know when it's gonna happen. You don't know how. Not from me anyway. But I thought that I didn't watch that much past that point, but I'm in season 16, which is like multiple seasons past, and I'm like, I've seen all of this already before. I remember bits and pieces of this part, so I guess I have watched this, but I'm just trying to get through to season 20, and then I think I'm gonna stop watching Grey's, and I might watch season 21 when it comes out, but I'm not gonna watch it from the beginning for the 5th time. Like, we're not doing that. But I am really excited to be done watching Grey's, and I want to watch something else. I do kind of want to watch Gilmore Girls, since I'm in my cozy girl era. I know that's what a lot of people really like and get their inspiration for, like knits and fall, and I would like to watch it. I want to watch something different. Usually I'm like that person that's like browsing the new and popular on Netflix, and I watch everything in the top 10 for the week of usually shows. I'm not like a huge movie person, but I will watch some movies. But I usually just like scour until I find something I haven't watched yet, something that just came out, and then I watch it. But I haven't been, because I've been watching Grey's for months, like since my grandma's blanket. So what, since May, June, July. Yeah, we're going on like 4 or 5 months that I've been watching Grey's, and I'm kind of over it. I'm not gonna lie. I did just watch the newest, it's not new anymore, it's about a year old, but the newest Leo movie, Flowers of the Killer Moon. It was really good. We actually had to split it into 3 nights of watching, because my boyfriend doesn't get home until after 8, and I'm usually like ready for bed by 9. So like he comes home, we eat, and then when we try to watch a movie, I've got like an hour maybe inside of me before I'm like, yep, time for bed. So we split it into 3 nights. It is a 3.5-hour movie, so like be prepared. But it was really good. I am also a huge Leo DiCaprio fan, so that's probably why, one of the main reasons why I really loved it. But the story is insane. It's a story I've never heard of before. But like the premise is that in Oklahoma, there is an indigenous tribe, and the people are being like killed off one by one, and like it's just go watch it. It's really, really good. I also am kind of watching right now the Dark Matter series, and the only reason I even started watching it is because we had the Apple TV Plus subscription trial, just so we could watch Flowers of the Killer Moon, and Dark Matter is on there. And if you guys don't know Dark Matter, it's by Blake Crouch. He is probably my favorite author. I have read more of his books than I've read of like other authors' books, and it's because he's like sci-fi meets thriller, and he's so interesting. Like, his whole premise of all of his books are so interesting, and they're just like page turners, plot twists, like seriously. So like Dark Matter, just to give you guys an idea, is this man who he has like a wife and son, and he gets kidnapped, and he wakes up and he's like surrounded by people, and he had to go through quarantine, and he is trying to figure out what the heck is going on. It's insane. Like, if you think you know what's gonna happen, you don't know. Go read Blake Crouch, read Dark Matter, read Wayward Pines. I'm actually on the second book of Wayward Pines, but I'm also reading ACOTAR at the moment. So yeah, where's my ACOTAR fangirlies? Because I'm on book 2. So I don't know. I usually have those periods of times where I'm like only crocheting, only knitting, and then only reading. Like I can't do both at the same time. Like I can't like crochet all day and then go read a book. Like I have to do one or the other. So I did take a break from crocheting for a minute and knitting, and I was reading, and I read all of the first book. And then I kind of picked up my needles again, so I tried listening to the second book, but it's not the same as like when you read it. So I don't know, I need to like pick it up again. But everyone, like, I think overhyped ACOTAR for me. Like, overhyped it to the point where like I was like, it's good, it's a great series, it's a great book, but is it like, I don't know, is it as like insane as everyone is making it? Maybe I'm just not to the point yet. Maybe I'm just not to the part that makes it absolutely like amazing. But I do want to read her other series. Like I have been inspired to read her other series, but I have to read what's on my bookshelf first. As you can see, I have lots of books back there that need read. Like what are some of your favorite books? Like what are you reading at the moment? I would love to know. I always love book recommendations, no matter like how slow I am. I'm a slow reader, and it takes me a while to kind of get into books, but I do love reading. Like it takes me a while to, I don't know, like really grasp it if it doesn't grasp me at the beginning, you know? So I'd love to know what you guys are reading. I'd also love to know what you guys are watching if it's not Grays. Like, do people watch anything other than Grays when they crochet? Especially like watching series multiple times through. That's how I get through it, because I've already seen it. So like me not paying attention doesn't matter as much. Oh, another series I love. I don't know like if everyone else watched it, but Reign, Reign, like Reign, like royalty. It's like French royalty, and there's like a super famous actress in it, and I cannot remember her name, but I loved that series. It's like kind of historical, but like with this little sci-fi fantasy kind of twist. There's like magic, and I don't know, I just really liked it and I recommend it. I've also watched like Vampire Diaries through like 2 times or 3 times. I love Vampire Diaries. Oh, another Blake Crouch book that I think everybody should read is Recursion. Honestly, if you only read one book by Blake Crouch, let it be Recursion. And if you're gonna read his other books, read Recursion last, because it's like, I read Dark Matter then, and I loved it. I loved Dark Matter, made me want to read more. So then I read Recursion. And Recursion, it's like kind of a little bit slow at first, but the plot twists, the love story that you just weren't expecting at the end, and just like the tears that I shed, and I couldn't even come back to reality afterwards. I was like, no, like I was living in Recursion. Like it's just amazing. So I read that one, and it took me like all the way up. And then I read his most recent book called Upgrade, and yeah, I didn't love it as much as the other 2. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you only read one of his books, do Recursion. If you read his other books, read them first, then read Recursion. Because I loved Recursion. His books are a little bit jumpy as far as like sometimes timeline and like between worlds and stuff like that. So just like keep that in mind, but it's really, really good. Like my grandma read both of them and she loved them, and she had no trouble like following that kind of stuff. So yeah. Also, I have been on TikTok and seeing like all of like the drama with like Colleen Hoover, because if you're on Book Talk, you either love her or you hate her. So I just kind of need to know what's the tea. Like, is everyone going to see It Ends With Us, or is everyone like, nah? Or is everyone waiting until it's not in theaters anymore? Because like I don't really go to movie theaters. Like they kind of freak me out. Like I just don't like to go. I'd rather be at home watching a movie. But I kind of did want to go see it just because I have read It Ends With Us. I have quite a few Colleen Hoover books, and I know there's like literally one side or the other. Like people being like, you could never make me like Colleen Hoover, and people are like, you could never make me hate her. So, and I don't know the story with her son. There's like some type of story there. So like if someone like feels strongly one way or the other, like let me know about it. Not necessarily about that, but about Colleen Hoover. Because Verity is probably one of my favorite reads within the last year or the last 2 years. That's about when I got back into reading. I had a moment, I was like losing my mind, and I actually started with Colleen Hoover. Like I started with It Ends With Us, and then I did like November 9th and Ugly Love, Verity. I did all of them. And while I like her books and I think like they're good for people to get out of a reading slump, I think that they're a tiny bit predictable, and like I don't want to say like simple, but they're like just simple stories, but they're like really light reading. So I can see why people really like it and why it brings people out of reading lulls, because you can get through her books really quickly. Ooh, this video is already 21 minutes long. Do I have anything else I could even talk about? Well, I feel like I talked your guys' ear off, so I don't know if there's anything else to even talk about, but I hope that you guys enjoyed hanging out with me, and I would love to know also what it is that you guys are working on. Like I'm constantly looking for some new project ideas and like things to make. So like let me know what you're working on so I can like keep it on Ravelry, or oh, you know, I do want to talk about, so with this Granny Square blanket tutorial, I was thinking about making an Instagram. I am very much, I like shy away from social media, and I deleted my Instagram last year, and I have been so happy without one, but I want a way for people to show me the progress on their crochet blankets, like on their Granny Square blankets. So if you guys have any other ideas that's not Instagram, I would love to know. Or if you guys would just prefer, if you're just like, oh, just make the Instagram, like let me know. I don't yet have access to, but other than that, I think that's it. I've only got one more row of this pink to do. As you can tell, it's been a super hot July here in Ohio, and so I'm super looking forward to what the August one is going to look like. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, and I can't wait to see you guys next time, and I hope you guys have a good day.